another mother. We became good friends in the last couple of years, and since he retired last year, we've been going all over the nurseries and stuff, and it's been Mike and Kelly, and we've been having a great time. And he's just a good guy, and he's very talented. And Bill Ward, take over.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. I started with Al Nielsen and John Nielsen about 13 years ago. Originally, I was into koi fish, and I hand dug my pond, which was 15,500 gallons. So whenever I do something, I kind of jump in with both feet, you know. So, anyways, I thought, oh, a bonsai tree would look good on my waterfall, and I heard of the House of Bonsai, so I went there and I bought one of the bigger trees that they have for landscaping, and I pushed it down, you know, and I read up on stuff, and I thought, wow, this thing looks really cool. And so I started doing bonsai too. Make a long story short, I don't have it as a koi pond now, it's a swimming pool, because koi just were too rough. But I started buying little trees, and I would work them, and then I'm feeling my thumbs like, I need something else to work on, you know. So I started getting the bigger trees, and what I brought to you today is I wanted to show you guys a few things about nursery stock, rough nursery stock, that you can find pretty decent material if you look. So, oh, and I have a little follow-up here too. This was the raffle tree of the gentleman that was from Mexico City. What was his name? Hugo, yeah. So I thought I'd bring this just to show you the follow-up on it, just, you know.
That was a juniper I got from Jason Chan's, and I had it for about 6 months, and then I brought it in and styled it for us.
And Mike Kelly, Big Joe, and I went nursery crawling, and I found this Natal Plum. So I had a decent juniper I was gonna bring, but I thought you guys would be tired of junipers, you know. So I thought I'd bring a different species that may not be so familiar with a lot of people. This tree right here is Wanda's that she's been working on for how long, Wanda?
Probably close to 20 years.
20 years, but this is a Natal Plum. The thing interesting about Natal Plums is they get white flowers all over them, and the flowers are very, very fragrant, and then they get beautiful red fruits on them. And they're readily available at almost any nursery, you know, so it's pretty common stock material. This is a tree that was a raffle tree from here, the juniper, and I kind of made it into a tanuki. I think Tom put this up at the table, but I went rock hunting with some people, and I found this piece of wood, so I just carved it out. And this thing was it was in a bag, and it was just a big mess, but I just used the main trunk and made it, you know, a cheap tree. The pot I bought at Hobby Lobby for like $9, and I paid $1 for the raffle ticket basically. So this is like a $10 tree, you know. If you want to look at it. Some of these trees, I wanted to show you this one. This one, I put this product on it for roses. It makes the leaves small. This is a regular size elm tree, but with this stuff, it reduces the leaves. So, and this tree was a $2 tree, so I'm El Cheapo, but anyways.
Is that pot from Hobby Lobby, is that ceramic?
It's
Probably resin.
it's like a resin, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it fits
Then I get the mound junipers at a lot of the nurseries, and you can make something like this out of one of those. Usually they're about $20, $25. Raffle pot. another inexpensive tree. And this needle juniper right here, I paid $60 for it at a estate sale. And it was about out to here with all the mature foliage. And I pushed it all back and I worked it. And anyway, so this whole thing right here was less than $100.
How long have you had that?
I've had this one for about 2.5, 3 years, maybe.
Beautiful.
This tree right here is a crepe myrtle. I bought this last year. It was 8 to 9 feet tall. And it had a gorgeous trunk on it. And I thought, man, I gotta have it. So anyways, so just in really a 1.5 years time, it went from 8 to 9 foot to this. And in a few months, I'll defoliate it and the leaves will come back smaller and I'll reduce the size. But I do have a lot of shoots coming out of the tips where I cut. So I'm hoping to get a nice rollover eventually on the branch so there's not a lot of scarring on it. And this is a tree right here I picked up last year also. And this was about 9 foot tall. And I brought the guy back some nursery cans because I always go hunting for trees everywhere. I went to Shirley's house the other day. I got on my phone and I said, nurseries around me. I found 2 from the freeway to her house. So I had a whole truck full of nursery can pots and I was gonna put them out to the curb. And I thought, well, maybe the guy down the street will want them. So I drove him over there and he goes, you can have any tree in my lot, you know? So this was about a 9 foot tall elm tree. It had a big chunk, another big branch coming out of here that I didn't like. So anyways, he gave this tree to me, so I got the tree for free. And I cut off the big branch and I kind of hollowed it out into a hollow. These are still not finished trees by no means. These are just freshly starred trees. But I also put the leaf reducing rose food on it, and it's a lot smaller than it was. When I go to buy trees at nurseries, which I like to do the nursery calls, Mike goes with me, Big Joe, and we have a good time. We go out and have lunch and breakfast, and you know, we go looking for trees. Kelly, she's gone too a few times, and it's a lot of fun. So we have a great time, and I bought some cork oaks from a nursery, and I bought a few of them, and I told the guy, hey, you gonna kick me down with something? He goes, well, what do you mean? And I go, hey, I just bought a few trees from you, man. Let's kick me down. Because if you don't ask, you guys, I guarantee you, you're not gonna receive. So anyways, he goes, take those little cork oaks. There was 2 little ones. So out of the little ones, I made this little show-in.
Oh, nice.
It's free. The pot was a raffle pot, and the tree was free. So this is, you know, a nice way to get little anything.
Pass it around, Bill. Pass it around.
Yeah, if you want to pass it around, look. It's just started, so it's about a year old. When you're looking for trees at the nurseries, this particular little tree right here was like 4 foot tall. And it had nice branching kind of going down, and I thought, man, maybe I should just keep it as it is. And I thought, no. I cut it off at the roots, and I made a show-in out of it, and another raffle pot. So this is starting to turn out to be a nice tree. It's not finished by no means.
Pass that one around too. See the roots, yeah.
This is an olive tree that I got at one of the nurseries, and I kind of got a wild hair and I carved a hole in it to make a hollow, just for added interest. I just thought, you know, what the heck. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that you can do with nursery stock trees. So this tree, Big Joe and Mike, we picked this up, so I'm gonna try and play with it a little bit and see what we can get out of it. It gets beautiful red fruits. There's a few of them on here.
Yeah, they're right out to the front here.
Are
You
they?
don't want
Okay.
to,
So, there's a few red fruits on here, and there was some flowers, but I don't know if they fell off or if they're turning into the fruits, but they're super fragrant. And these do have thorns on them, usually, but this one, I don't know why, I don't seem to see any thorns, but, let me pull it out of the pot here.
And that one will be in the raffle.
Yes, this will be in the wrap.
That one only.
So, let me grab a chair. Any questions, anybody?
Do you have a favorite nursery you like to go to?
Lakewood Nursery was okay for a while, but it's kind of picked through now. But every now and then, it's so funny, you guys, when you go to a nursery and you go with your mindset of looking for a particular type of tree or something, you walk past so many other things that are kind of cool. The next time you go back, you're like, I didn't even see this here last time, but it's kind of growing in the ground, so you know it was there. So, there's a lot of different nurseries, and they all have, like I go to one nursery, they have 500 contoniasters. I go to another nursery, they got 1,000 junipers. I go to another nursery, they have, each nursery kind of has its own special thing, like, was it silverberries and redwood trees and all kinds of stuff like that. So, it's a lot of fun, but once you go to them, you gotta let them sit for a while, because they get new stock in all the time. So you let it build up for a little bit, but there's so many nurseries in my area. I can never find them all. And like I say, I just hit on my phone nurseries around me, and I got 3 or 4 to go to, you know? Which makes it a lot of fun. Like one nursery by Shirley's house, they have a lot of bonsai pots. Have you ever been there? I'm sure you have.
Well, I've been to several.
It's like a mile from your house.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
But,
Temple Nursery.
yeah.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
I know the answer to this, but when you use that rose stuff, you use it in the fall, correctly?
I like to do it around October,
October.
and then, you know, your leaves fall off your tree, then it gets time to soak into the root system, and then when spring comes and they pop, they usually come out really small. I can't tell you how much to use, that you have to try on your own, because it depends on how deep your pot is and how wide. And it says on the thing not to put in potted plants, but,
You just do it once a year?
yes.
Oh.
If you don't shoot every year, will the leaves come back?
Yes, I did, one of my bigger trees, I didn't put quite enough on it this last time. And I have like 2 branches on it that are coming out full size, and the rest are small. It's so bizarre, I don't know why it does it like that. But,
Is it just elm trees?
Zacovas too, huh? I tried it on my Zacovas, they're not popped out yet though,
Oh.
so. So anyways, it's a lot of fun playing with stuff. And also when you go to the nurseries and you're looking for a tree, you have to dissect the tree with your mind, kind of. You look at it and you go, okay, it's got a really nice nabari, I can work with that. Or it's got reverse taper on the top, maybe not so much. But then if you think, well, if I make a wrap out of it, if it's got a lot of branching and stuff, there's so much you can do with ho-hum trees to make them look pretty cool if you just have a little imagination of what you're up to, you know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
Yes, sir. Tom, put them in the back.
Hey, hey.
Did you see it? Now we can go away from the-
Any questions, guys?
I feel
should we treat that plant? More like a juniper, deciduous?
This one?
Yeah.
These are pretty hardy plants, actually. After, I might even pot it, if I have time, I'll even repot it after I do this, and it should be okay.
Wow. Is it full sun, partial sun?
They like full sun, but, you know, as you work on it right now, the old saying, keep it in the shade for a couple of weeks is probably your best bet.
Is it more like a boxwood, because the leaf style, or? how's it more simple?
I don't know if I'd say it's more like a boxwood, but it's just a unique tree that,
It's a California native, which is kind of cool.
right,
And
so it'll do well in our areas.
no bugs like it, which is wonderful.
Bill, what did that cost, that size?
What's that?
What did that cost?
$7?
What?
$9.
Yeah, I think it was,
$9.
yeah, 9 or 10. It was,
He gave me a discount.
yeah,
Yeah.
we bought a bunch of trees.
But you guys gotta ask. I'm
Yeah.
serious. If you don't ask, or if you say, hey, if I buy two, you give me a price break. You might have two trees you like. Hey, if you don't ask, I guarantee you're not gonna get it, but if you ask, you might.
We loaded the back of my truck up with it.
We did.
So we told them, what's the best price you can give us?
20 of them.
Yeah, something like that.
What is it called again?
This is a Natal Plum.
Natal plum?
Uh-huh.
Those are the ones with the big spikes.
Yes.
Did you see
Big spikes, yes, they have them, but this particular one, I don't see a single thorn on it. I don't know.
that?
Right now, I'm just trying to get the outer shape kind of in tune. And then I'm gonna go on the inside and start choosing branches to try and give me some negative space. So, see what happens here.
They're a little frost standard in cold areas.
So it does not drop its leaves?
No. And I went to a nursery over by the park nursery, and they had these natal plums that were like this tall and about this wide. And I was thinking, you know, I should ask somebody how much they are, but nobody was around. Nobody was coming around, so I just went through it and I left. But I know where they're at, so.
How big was the trunk on those?
About like that.
Oh, yeah.
They got one,
At AS,
at AS Nursery about,
Garden
how
Grove,
long ago was that?
year and a half.
Okay. But, there's stuff to be had out there, you guys, if you like to practice on trees, buy these cheap trees so you don't kill your good trees, you know? But you can also turn these cheap trees into a nice tree. Normally I work on larger trees, this is kind of a small.
Tell them what you were doing Monday.
Digging trees. With Doyle. He's a good guy.
Any questions?
What kind of trees were you digging?
Eugenia,
Eugenias.
bush
And-
cherry is the common name.
Yeah, and, he had junipers too.
Yeah, I think so too. As he's trimming away, look at the movement on this tree, it's incredible. Yeah.
But there's so many species that you guys can grab to practice with. If you want to get better at bonsai, you have to work on trees. If you have 4 or 5 trees at home and you kind of clean them up and then you just sit back and twiddle your thumbs and wait for them to grow out, you're wasting a lot of time that you could be practicing on cheap material and learning, you know, as you go, gaining your skills. So. I like to try and get a little bit of negative space between stuff. And this tree might not look all that great because it's just getting its first style, so it'll have to bud back out. And over a few times, it'll start taking its shape that you might like in your garden.
What's the saying? Gotta be ugly before it gets pretty?
Gotta make it look ugly before you can make it look pretty. And a few other things too, on fertilizers, I brought some stuff on. I used to use, a fish kelp, fish emulsion with kelp and molasses, and they stopped making it. I was mad. That stuff was great. That stuff, if you put it on a tree, in 2 weeks you'd have new pops everywhere. So you would not put that on a mature tree that you want to kind of keep, but if you're trying to ramify a tree and get it to pop so you can get branching where you want it, it's a good thing. So I bought this stuff I can't tell you the results of this one yet, okay? But I did watch Bjorn doing a thing in his garden, and he was putting this, after I bought it though, he was putting it in his watering stuff, so if he uses it, maybe it's pretty good. Sometimes you get, find good stuff. So.
What's the other one?
This one is for fruiting trees. I haven't tried it really yet. I haven't gotten with it yet, so. I don't know what you guys, if you ask 5 bonsai people what their soil mix is, you'll get 6 different answers because yours will be different than theirs. But I make what I call a poor man's soil because I have so many trees. I don't even have room on my shelves.
What do you do with all your extra trees?
I sell them. What? At the club shows and the swap meet and stuff like that. But with the money I get from those trees, I buy a nice tree. So that way I'm getting a nice tree for basically free, but the whole time I'm working on trees like crazy. So for me it works, as I just retired and I'm having a blast, So with that being said, it's a lot of fun, man. Everybody should retire. I highly recommend it.
That's right, that's right.
Makes you wonder how you ever had time to work.
I think I work more being retired than I ever did when I worked.
Very true, very true.
It's like crazy. So what I'm trying to do is get a lot of cross branches out of the way and kind of clean this up a little bit. Trying to push it back. I like to make everything a little bit tighter because the tighter that you make it inwards, the bigger the trunk looks. So it gives it a little bit of a better look. So I'm just kind of going down the sides of this right now a little bit here. Trying to make it a little bit more
Did you screw that tanuki together?
what's that?
Did you screw that tanuki together?
No, I carved it with a Dremel tool
Uh-huh.
and it snapped in like a Lego.
Oh, wow, great.
And it was tight, it wouldn't even move. Yeah, it wouldn't even move. So I thought, okay, that's cool. And that was one that I got from here a while back.
That was the one that wouldn't stand up. It wouldn't stand up, it was so awkward.
Yeah, it was in a trash bag.
Yeah, because it was biting us when I took it out of the truck. It was about this big. It was a good 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet.
Bill,
Yes?
would
I like the fruit on them.
It doesn't hurt the tree.
I don't think it really does. A lot of times they'll fall off on their own, but what's really cool about them is they get white flowers, and the white flowers are really, really fragrant. You can smell them really, really well. And these are like such a common tree that are in every nursery you go to, but kind of overlooked in the bonsai realm. So a lot of times I like to open them up and expose more wood, because if you expose more wood, I believe it looks more like a tree than a shrub. And this has pretty crackly bark on it, so it looks pretty cool if you.
And they take root pruning pretty well.
Yes, yeah. Almost kind of like a boxwood on the roots, where it's got kind of fibrous roots, but they adjust really well. I've made a few of them, and I beat them up. I showed them no mercy. I trimmed the heck out of them. I have one small one that had a thick trunk, and it wasn't that great looking. And I didn't defoliate it, but I took it all the way down to the trunk with just a few on it, and within 6 months, it back budded everywhere. The whole thing, all the way up it. So they back bud pretty good.
Do they get pests?
They're pretty easy on pests. They don't seem to get too much pests.
And you can get that size at a nursery pretty easy.
You can get them any size. You can get them this tall at nurseries, this big, or this big, you know?
You're saying if you cut that way back, maybe 4 or 5 inches, it would bud back?
Yep, sure will.
With no leaves?
Yeah, cut it to no leaves, it's still bud back.
How many
I don't think you
times,
heard-
how many times in a season will you cut it?
I don't think you heard you with that.
It depends on the growth. If it's growing like crazy, maybe twice in a season. If it's so-so, maybe just a light trimming to keep it in shape.
Do you ever defoliate it or partially defoliate?
I've never defoliated them all the way. I have a little one that I almost defoliated just by cutting everything off of it, but the two leaves here or there. But
So can you cut it back to no leaves at all, they will bud?
I believe they will. I have not done it, but I think you could get away with it with these things. So,
Are they easier to keep alive than a juniper?
are they easier than a juniper?
Yeah, cause I know, like, we tend to give beginner junipers, but they always die. Most of the time they'll die with a beginner. So I'm just thinking maybe a natal plum won't die as easily. Discourage people.
They're a pretty hardy plant. One had hers for 20 years, she said. Where'd it go?
Over there.
Over here.
Yeah.
That's 20 years she's had it, and look, it looks great, you know? So,
That was on a raffle table a long time ago, and it was in a paint can. Metal paint can on a raffle table. Nobody wanted it.
A very old rusty
Yeah.
spotted paint can at that.
Did you say the pink can?
Oh, man, just when I needed to put it on the rack.
Really.
Yeah. Take it back.
hey, Hobby Lobby has sales, and they have pots, or you might have to drill out the bottom of them, but they're kind of cool.
I've got diamond drills, you know, on eBay.
Uh-huh.
You can get a set of diamond drills, different sizes, very reasonable.
that trunk is pretty.
There was probably hundreds of them, but none of them had.
Can you use Deadwood in this, or is the wood,
I got
is
one,
it hard
it's
enough?
a small.
I have not tried it. The wood is kind of soft on these,
It looked like that.
but you could give it a try.
That's-
I had a ficus that I did a bunch of Deadwood work on it with a Dremel tool, hollowed it out and everything. And I gave it to Dan and Wanda, and I did that like 12 years ago, and it still looks great. People say, "Oh, the wood's too soft." I don't listen to them. I give it a try, you know. And anyways, it still looks good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I think the reason they say they don't keep their deadwood well is because they're a tropical, and so therefore, people that live in tropical areas have a lot more moisture in their air, where we have dry air,
Yeah.
and so that helps that wood stay and not rot away.
Right.
Do you put wood preservative on it?
Yes.
Let me look again.
So this tree looks like it has pretty decent movement in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do with this.
So Bill, on average, how many trees do you work a week?
Yeah, good question.
50,
Yeah,
60.
maybe 50.
50 a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Every time we call him, he's working on 5 or 6 trees at once. We got this one done, get that one.
Yeah. A lot of times though too, it's just, keeping them tuned up, you know, but,
No, I mean actually.
Oh,
You bring
this?
it back, you bring it back.
this way,
Nursery dive and you.
probably 3 a week. Yeah, I did a juniper yesterday or the day before. Found a nursery that has pretty nice junipers for $25, so.
And I think I heard a question about the deadwood on these. This one does not have any deadwood, but I have one that we got from the AS Nursery in Garden Grove, and it was about 5 feet tall. And so I did all kinds of deadwood on the branching on that, and that's been a year and a half, and it's just as hard as it was the day I took it off. So I don't know what the test of time is gonna show on it, but initially, right now, it's doing fine.
Does it heal from wire scars?
You know, I haven't ever gotten wire scars on these trees, so I can't say for sure. But it's got such craggy bark that certainly will be a help to losing the scar over time.
So it's a fun little tree. It gets the white milky sap, kind of like a ficus or something would. And I don't know, I've tasted the fruit on them. It doesn't taste bad, but it does taste very latexy. If I haven't described it. Well, you know, if you want to turn it into plastic, man, it's not bad. You know?
You're pretty gutsy there, Bill.
Hey, you gotta try it.
You gotta try it, okay.
They're rather apple-like.
But then I started hallucinating and it was really just messing. That's funny.
Would you like to demonstrate the flavor again?
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta see where these branches are going. So, sometimes I don't know when to stop. I'll start cutting and I was like, well, maybe I should have stopped a little bit ago. You take a vote, guys. You think this branch should go or stay? Should I wire it down? Stay?
Maybe stub it out at my back button closer.
Yeah.
You can always take it off later.
True.
Do you have a front yet?
Yeah, let me see here. I think the front is somewhere in here.
Facing us?
Yeah, facing you.
Can you do a gin?
What's that?
A gin,
On this branch?
Yeah.
to test it out?
I could.
I think it'll show the movement a little better.
Okay, I'll do that.
What do you think?
We'll check it out and see what
Because you got
happens.
that branch right above it, so it's got,
The branch above it got some nice movement in it.
Right.
That's the reason that one looks a little bit out of place. You gotta do wires down as straight can be.
got some glue?
I like doing gins and charades on the trees. I think it makes them look more mature and old. And, does anybody have any natal plums as trees?
Yeah.
You do?
I got a real small one. I'll show you a picture. I got it about 4 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
I did it with drawing or a cell sable. They put out about a dozen branches, 18 inches long.
It's growing good for you, huh?
So I was really happy, so I just trimmed it back to about 9 inches. I'll show you a picture of it later. I'd like to get a bigger one. My mother had a bunch of them in San Diego, and they had a fruit, about as big as your fingernail.
You see a lot of these in businesses, like along the walkways of businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're more for ground cover. They use that.
Yeah, but they do grow up.
Yeah, but you'll see them, like you're saying, in businesses,
Yeah.
because they spread out pretty good.
I just went to Kaiser Hospital the other day, and
Right.
they just planted a whole bunch of these in their garden there.
Did you ask them where they got it from?
No, I didn't, because I know where to get some. Mike, you must be really sick. You're quiet. You're quiet.
If you don't hear him talking, he must be sick.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of refreshing.
Leave him alone,
He's a good guy.
Normally when I do like charades and gins and stuff, I like to burn them with a torch afterwards.
Oh, yeah?
and then wire brush them with a brass brush, not a stainless steel or a nylon. Stainless steel is too rough, nylon is too soft, but a brass brush will bring the wood grain out and take all the tooling out that you've done in it, and it looks really, really, really nice if you do that.
So you torch it and then brush it.
Yeah, and I use my hand as a rep, because like if I was gonna burn this, I put my hand up here. So when I'm burning it, if it's gonna burn my hand, it's gonna burn the tree, so I'll pull it back. Or sometimes I'll get a piece of aluminum foil, fold it up a couple times and make like a barrier so the heat doesn't transfer to the leaves,
Yeah.
or a wet towel. Different ways to do it, but it looks so much better. And then after, if you put lime sulfur on it, if you like that look, it looks really, really cool. It looks like it was a natural tear, you know?
What does burning it and brushing it do?
It brings out the sap in the wood, and then when you wire brush it, it shows the wood grain and the soft wood that's burned, like it leaves like natural grooves in the wood. So it looks like natural weathered wood. It makes a big difference. But sometimes I do littler trees and stuff and we just can't do it, so.
It just popped out really nice.
And it gets rid of all the little fuzzy guys that you get when you're
Yes, a lot of little fuzzies
taking the bark off.
when you work on it. So I think we'll try and pot this guy today.
Yeah, you got. It's not even 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm used to doing stuff pretty quickly, but I always can come back to it, but here I can't. So, a lot of people will take this over and start raking the roots from the bottom, and they will rake it out till they get to where they want it, and then they cut it off. I don't mess with that. I ain't got time for that. So, I brought a pot here, so just a plastic pot, but here's the pot I'm going to think about putting it in. And
You need help holding it? You need help holding it? Okay.
maybe.
Let me know.
Okay. One of my friends that lives in Texas sent me this thing, and I've been using it all the time. It works great.
Can you show those again? Was it too quick? Oh. Like a side.
It's a knife with serrated edges on it.
Oh, really?
Joe, you wanna give me a
Yeah,
hand?
I figured, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Got it there?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I figured that thing would be rock and rolling in a minute.
Sometimes you get lucky and they don't have too many big root in them, but sometimes they're full of root. Thank you.
Yeah. If you tried every one.
Wait, what? One place?
Oh, wait, Joe.
I want to do anything around it, open up this hose, metal hose. Right around it.
So with this tree, I'm gonna use my standard potting mix, which I have here, I brought some with me. I like to go to Orange County Farm Supply and get my plummets from there. And they also have orchid bark, big bags of it, pretty reasonable. And I like to get the really small orchid bark. And I use the plummets, orchid bark, And then I go to a building supply place over by my house, and they have the cinders or the lava rock. And I get that from there, and then I like to put worm castings in my soil. A lot of people, I don't think like so much organic stuff in there, but I think the trees just do better. And usually, when I first repot a tree, I will leave about 30% of the original soil in the tree, because I just think the finer roots that are around the center of it, and the pH of the soil and all that's the same, and they usually do well. Then the following year, you can repot them with a full bonsai. And I think it gives them a little kick, a head start of not, having trouble when you repot.
Then do you remove all that other soil that you didn't take away before?
Yes.
How long would you leave it in nursery? I know you don't have everything in bonsai pots, but how long would you leave it in a nursery can to let it grow and thicken up?
I don't keep them too long in nursery cans.
Yeah, I know that.
Overpot, right?
But I do oversize my pots. In fact, a lot of my trees that I had in smaller nursery or bonsai pots, I've removed them and put them in bigger pots. The best way to get your tree to bulk up very quickly is to grow it in the ground. And if you can get a tile from like Home Depot, like a 24 by 24 tile or whatnot, and you put it in the ground like 6-8 inches deep, depending on the size of the tree, then plant your tree on top of it. The roots grow down, and then they grow out from the tile and down, so then when you dig it up, it's already got the radial roots going, and you don't have to cut a lot away or waste it. And they do very well. You can even use wood, that works also. Or you can do like Michael does and do the wood boxes, those are very good too. Or I just oversize pots. I'm not gonna put them in a show or anything like that. I don't like a bunch of nursery cans and stuff on my bonsai shelves. So I prefer to just put an oversized pot for the time I'm growing it until I want to do something, if I'm gonna put it in a show or whatnot. And these trees, the root balls are pretty much like a boxwood, very fine. But sometimes you'll get big tap roots in these things, or a lot of the other trees too.
What did you find in that when you cut it?
Just a few little roots,
Oh, yeah.
not bad. So this was a very inexpensive tree, guys. So this is, like I say, it's very good practice material for you guys if you just not really have a lot of knowledge on how to work stuff. And it's okay to kill a tree or two when you're doing this. It's how you learn. Seriously.
Trial and error.
I mean, everybody's done it, so if you say you haven't, I think you're rocks. Any questions?
You got a lot of fine roots there, huh?
Yeah, it does. And these kind of trees that have fine roots, you can go pretty shallow on them because they have a lot of feeder roots already up at the top. So it's a little bit easier to put them in a shallow pot quicker, if that's what you desire.
Bill, what's the most common reason your trees die?
Mine?
Yeah.
Sometimes with the heat, sometimes I don't get enough water on certain trees like my maples and things like that. I have a shade cloth over them, but sometimes it's just not enough, or I don't water them quite enough like I think I should, or I think that I did. So I've lost a few maples like that. But right now I probably have 300
Or more.
maybe 400. I don't know.
More and more each day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've been getting a lot of trees lately. People have been giving me trees like crazy. I have one, he says he's my student, but he just moved houses and his new yard was a lot smaller than his old yard. So he gave me 39 trees the other day that he couldn't do. And he kind of gave me his crappy ones, but I made a few of them look pretty good. He gave me like a pear tree, a couple of elm trees and some stuff, and I worked with him. And when he comes over, he's probably gonna wish he didn't give them to me.
Okay, we're gonna start taking a break now. See Greg back there for raffle tickets. Like I said, that tree will be in the raffle. Come on up and take a look and see what Bill's doing. No. I'm right where he Move this out of the way so we can have a couple of drinks.
Speaking of that, we still have a tree up there.
I know. I'm going out of town, so if you're okay with watching me for another 2 years.
Yeah. No.
How did you get your feminine forward so green?
Those minutes, what are you using to make it so green?
Just the fertilizer that I'm showing you.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Not the kelp.
Oh, the kelp.
And I also,
Fish emulsion?
I also use,
I can. I will.
Next week,
So just fish emulsion?
and the, it's kind of like the osmo coat, but it's 14, 14, 14.
The yellow little.
No, it's like multicolored. It's pretty good stuff.
I love the way you work. It's constantly looking around.
Yeah, thank you.
And all these people know you when you go to the different nurseries. They go, hey, the section over here. And
Well, some of them know me. And I think too that they started doing this, I gotta stop. I went to a nursery by my house and I saw a olive tree and it was about this tall. And it had a base on it like that, and short like that. And I told the guy, how much is that olive tree? And he said, $100. And I said, $100? Are you crazy? He goes, oh, well, I got some smaller ones over here. And I said, no, I kind of like the trunk ones. He goes, oh, you want those bonsai guys? And I said, yeah. So he goes, I'll tell you what, take that one for free, grab another one, take it and make it. So I took 2 trees home, I made the one I wanted, and I made him one out of the secondary tree that I made. And it looks so good, I But,
is there any nursery that you go to that works best for you, or is this just tap garage on?
I just try to find new nurseries because what happens is
Take a picture and send it
a
to
lot of times I find all the stuff that.
Yeah, of course, you clean them out.
I'm okay.
That would be, because of the serrated edge, really good soil. Have you used it yet, James? Have you used it yet?
Not yet.
You gotta break it out, man. You gotta break it out and see how it works.
I'll bring it in, next time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Look it up on Amazon.
Okay, Amazon. Okay.
She's giving me now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Peter. What's that? Yes. The Deadwood part I did, because we still had left a live trunk on it. But I know it probably looks a little bit long, but I think when the tree fills out, it'll catch up. You agree? Yeah. So that was my thoughts.
Look like boxwood.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What do you do?
When you have all the fruit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I cut a couple off. There's another one. Yeah, really a ruby red color. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, everybody kind of overlooks these. That's why I decided to do this instead of people getting tired of doing. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Bill. Okay.
Yeah, take a picture. Yeah, take a picture. That's what I do.
I'm grateful for it.
Let's open it and smell it.
Yeah, go ahead. And then, Bill, where did you get these two?
When?
No, where? I know this one's Home Depot.
Yeah, online.
Online? Okay. They were asking.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't even remember That's why he said it would stay on and not let go. Why not, bro?
What are you doing? You gonna go to San Diego? Yep. Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it.
How you guys doing? Kind of instant bonsai, right? Do you have any questions on this? These two were started almost just a year ago. From like eight to 9 pictures.
This is a regular
Okay, so grab your snack and a drink, and let's get back with Bill. Tell us what you're doing there, Bill.
Right now, I'm repotting this tree, you guys, and I'm using what I call my torment soil.
Yeah. No, just read our email.
Just read Shirley's.
That's right. Shirley does, whatever I get, I send it to Shirley and she puts it in the email, so, you know, you wanna make sure everybody's knowledgeable of what's going on and what's happening out there. Like I was just telling Mike, Jason Chan has a Bring Your Own Tree workshop. He has one this Saturday. Go on Eastern Leaf and look. You guys wanna get help on trees and stuff like that?
It's Kaya Moon, right?
What's that?
The person that's gonna work with you is Kaya Moon. Isn't it? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we doing here, Joe?
Well, I'm just doing a few little cleanup stuff here. And, I repotted this with my torment soil.
Chop it up.
Yeah. You'll get one, I get one.
So also guys, you can buy these tags on Amazon. They're aluminum tags with a little piece of wire on them, and you can write on them with like a pen, and it countersinks into the aluminum. But this is a very good way. This is what the tags look like, and they come with wires too. But it's a good way to put a repot, it comes with a wire and a tag. Yeah. And what I like to do is when I repot my tree, I'll put that and hang that on the tree. So every now and then I can, if I can, like, when did I repot that tree last? And then I just look at the tag and, okay, it's been a year or two, so depending on what type of tree it is, I should repot it, because I forget.
Yeah, for you, that's a good idea.
Yeah. You know that, Joe.
It's like painting the San Francisco Bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I have another problem with weeds.
Oh, yeah.
I get weeds in my stuff.
We all do that. We gotta stop raining here.
Mhm.
Too much germination.
Or a Japanese mushroom in a sheet.
No, I didn't. I was gonna do that today.
Roughly $20, $30.
The tags? The tags are like $3 on Amazon.
Really? Oh man, I need a link to
You know,
that.
I got a bunch on Amazon,
Go find out.
I got a bunch on Amazon with wires.
Just kind of, yeah, go there, so you see if it's reading.
Oh, mine were papers.
Yeah, I know.
That was, yeah, I heard. Trees I had, we boxed them. And then boom. Oh, that tree you gave me the, give it to me. The real parents, we had two, three. That was back too.
You want that, you know that big maple?
The other thing,
Yeah, that's big.
kind of a bad thing about getting these kind of trees from the nurseries that I go to, a lot of times they get insects in them. Most of the time it's ants in the pots.
Yes.
So a lot of times when you take them home, if you get a bigger bucket and set them in the water, and usually it'll kind of take care of the ants. Every now and then I get one with ants. And also, sometimes the pots, the rims of the pots might have spiders up underneath and you feel spider webs. So you you just check that, wipe it out and get it home or before you take it home. And you should be okay.
Oh, that's,
Any questions, guys?
Never look at this.
When do the flowers bloom roughly? What's the
Right now?
Really?
Yeah, it had some on there, I guess I knocked them off.
Okay.
But all
But,
warm season.
Yeah, the flowers usually are mostly,
All the way through to November.
yeah.
I got sporadic.
And like I say, they smell really well.
Yes, they do.
Also, you guys, another good product is, this is root tone or rooting hormone from, Orange County Farm Supply. This is $10 and it's stronger, way stronger than the other stuff that you get. So you get a whole bunch for very little money. And whenever you transplant your plants, or you can use this as a foliage spray, or
You
put it like 3 drops in a watering can. When you water this, HB 101 really helps kick your plants into a better state. You know, it makes them happy. I don't know what's in it, but it works. And it's kind of expensive, it's like $30 for this bottle, but you put 3 drops in a gallon, so it lasts forever. You know what I mean?
Give me the,
Oh.
you can talk about it. I'm gonna pass around the soil mix. You wanna tell them again what's in there? Yeah.
So this soil mix is a general soil mix. It works for everything that I have.
That's what he's.
I have so many different varieties of trees. It's plums, it's orchid bark, it's worm castings, it's cinders. And that's it. No, I have too many trees for that. I could never afford it. Now, maybe for my very high-end trees I could. But everything seems to grow super well in it, so I don't use Akadama. I just why? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Don't waste money.
Yeah.
What is your ratio?
You know, I make, when I make my soil, I make it, you know, the Rubbermaid trash can. I usually make 1 to 2 of those at a time. So, my mix would be, like, I get 2 bags of cinders that are about this big. I don't, you know, like this, and I'll throw those on the ground. Then I'll take I get a big bag of the orchid bark, and I'll pour that on there. And then I take a shovel, I've got a big bag of worm castings, and I put 1 big heaping shovel on top of that. And then the pumice, if I get it from Orange County, sometimes they run out and you have to go different places for it. So this last time I had to go to Lakewood Nursery, they had it. And Orange County Farm Supply, they had it, but they hadn't bagged it up yet. And so I didn't want to go back in a couple of days to get it. I wanted to mix my soil that day. So I went to Lakewood Nursery, and they have pumice in bags about this big. So I'll put two bags of the pumice, 2 bags of the lava cylinders, 1 big scoop of the worm castings, and 1 full bag of the very small orchid bark. And then I just take a shovel and I just keep turning it over till it gets really mixed up good. Then I pull my trash can over, Rubbermaid, and I just fill it up and I put the lid on it, and I have it throughout, you know, it lasts me 3 or 4 months. And, yeah. And then I thought I just had to mix some more. So anyway, so that's how I make my soil. Oh, thought you were.
Where did you get that H1?
Where did I what?
That little bottle?
Oh, you can buy that online. You can, like, there's a nursery by my house called H&H. They have it there. There's a lot of places you can pick it up, but you can get it on Amazon. Pretty ready available.
Lakewood Nursery in Orange County, both have them.
Yeah. So.
Is it the same as Miracle-Gro basically?
It's different.
Doesn't smell the same.
It's different, but it works pretty well. And also the HB101, you can put it in a spray bottle, and like 3 drops in a spray bottle, and spray the foliage, and it gets your plants happy too. So you can use it as a watering, or you can use it as a spray on the foliage. So you guys, I'm kind of done with this, I guess. So it's kind of a small guy, but so there it is.
Question, what's the next stage for it? What should we, if the person that gets it tonight, what should they push forward, growth on any particular side, or any development that they should?
Well, let it back bud, and where you need branches, you keep them, and where you don't, you remove them, and you let it grow into shape, and like the top could be a little bit fuller in here, maybe. So, you know, depending on the style of the tree, but you just let it get happy and let it do its thing, and it should be a pretty decent tree for whoever wins it. Like I say, it's cheap nursery stock, but it's good practice material, you guys. I mean, it's okay. It's nice.
It's different, that's what I like.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual too. A lot of people won't have that on their nursery shelf, and it will get better in time as it fills in and it gets thicker and denser. And then you just have to kind of clean it up to where you have negative spaces throughout it, you know, and let it do its thing, and let it get happy. So it needs to be watered. Whoever wins this, when you take it home, water it. Also, a lot of times when you make deadwood, or if you have a hollow in your tree, it's good to use this wood hardener. Just take a little paintbrush and paint it on in there, and it will save it from decaying, and it will make your tree last a lot longer. And you can get this at like Home Depot, and it works very well.
What brand is it?
This one is Minwax.
That's a yeah, don't drink it.
So, It's good for deadwood, charres, gins, stuff like that. And then at my house, my water is really kind of bad. I have a lot of calcium in my water. So every time, almost every time, I work on a tree, I set it on my stand and I work it. I take a rag, and I'm using this right now, this walnut oil, and I oil my pots. One, it takes a lot of the calcium off right away. Two, it kind of masks some of it that didn't go away. But I don't like looking at that on my bonsai shelf, so I use this almost every time I work a tree, I oil my pot, and it just keeps the calcium down at a minimum. So this is just a walnut oil that you can buy, you know. Huh?
Where do you get that?
I buy mine at Walmart.
Because sometimes it says processed.
This,
And that doesn't work as well, supposedly.
I got this at,
The cooking area where the oils are?
yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Is that walnut oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
It works really well, and it takes the calcium off, or it takes like 80% of the calcium away without scrubbing it or nothing, or using a stone or anything on it.
Pass that around too.
Yeah, it's on Amazon too, everything's on Amazon, you know? But I recommend you do that, and I recommend that when you work your trees, work your pot too.
We can use it for the cookies too.
You guys want to
We got some,
pass it around and see it?
Yeah, if you guys remember Michael Ryan that was here, he was saying how to oil your pots once or twice a month. Yep. Like I said, I buy it at the super Walmart, where they have the market stuff in the cooking area. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Also, something that I do, you guys, when I'm repotting my trees, is I use a brush like this. It's real stiff, and when I have the tree out, I brush it radial on the top, and all the fine roots, it lines them up, kind of like you're brushing your hair. And it takes a little bit of the topsoil off that I want to take off. So I use a stiff brush. I saw Corwin, is that? Corin from the UK do it, and I said, okay, I like when I do stuff and I see a bonsai professional do it too, but he was doing the same thing. But it combs all your roots out, you know, in a radial style. It's stiff enough to brush them and remove some of the soil, but it's just a good thing to do. So I cut some of the fruits off of this tree, but this is what the fruits look like. They get really bright red, and they're kind of cool. And yes,
Very good.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah. Any questions? Anybody?
Any questions about the trees behind you? You're welcome to come up and take a look.
When would I use it?
Oh,
When would I use it?
Lindsay said anybody wants some cuttings, that'll propagate. You got that too fast, Bill.
I don't take too long.
No, you did a great job.
No, that's good. You got a lot of visual aids there.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that
That's
helps,
the best
right?
way. That's the best way.
So.
That's actually.